What's up, guys? Matt Brown from the LSR Podcast. Thanks for joining me and Dustin and Adam right here on the channel each and every week. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments if there's anything you'd like us to tackle in a future episode. But without further ado, we look, and there's been a couple of college football conferences that have decided to postpone play up until spring. Fingers crossed, I suppose, depending on if there's going to be any difference between now and spring, we shall see. But, I think one of the things out there, and this is kind of off our sheet that we're going on here, but I think it's worth talking about is, a lot of people talking about, oh man, how this is going to affect the books, how it's going to affect the books. And, we've seen this for years and years. And yeah, college football is certainly nice for the sports books, but it still pales in comparison to the money that's coming in for the NFL. And most likely, a decent chunk of that money where people were probably betting on Saturday and Sunday will just roll kind of from Saturday into Sunday. I don't see college football or lack thereof having just this catastrophic effect on books, where I think some of the people who maybe aren't as in tune with kind of how the numbers and how things shake out are portraying.
So Matt, I walked into this morning thinking exactly the same thing that you did about that college does not have the same effect, and that losing two Power 5 conferences might not be as big a deal as some were making it out to be. But I was on another program this morning and interviewing a rep from CG Sportsbooks, and he said, at least at their shop, that overall college football handle is getting closer to 50-50 with NFL. Now, how that breaks down with bowl season versus, your average Saturday, I think that's part of what you need to look into as well. I definitely go along with the second piece of what you're talking about. If you have a bankroll, you have a bankroll, and you're going to find a way to get it down smartly if you're someone who's betting these things regularly. And as you know very well, and as you could find from any of the bookmakers that you talk to, it's NFL lines that drive profits because they are tighter, they are sharper. There are less soft lines in the NFL than there are in college football. So in the end, there could be a silver lining for the books in a way when you're not putting up as many random college games as you might be in another year. And maybe you don't exactly know what the App State line should be when you open it, and it gets hammered 3 points immediately. That's the sort of thing you might be able to avoid.
And Dustin, we shall see how this plays out over there in New Jersey as well and all that. But when you kind of look at that area, whenever you look in the New York, New Jersey area, not a lot of power college football teams as it is anyway. Like there's Penn State there in Pennsylvania that you could look at. But when you look in that region, I kind of wonder just how popular and how much college football is going to be driving all that anyway. And the people that were betting college, Adam, I think kind of like we were saying, I think that money probably just gets funneled into NFL. Maybe they bet more games than normally would. Maybe they up their bet just a little bit or something like that. But I don't know, geographically, that area to me doesn't seem like that a college football hotbed as it is anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you that it can't be that much interest. It's certainly not. There's not power teams there. I'd say the Midwest and places like Mississippi, which only has retail betting. You think if they end up not having SEC football to bet on, that would be a much bigger hit to what's going on there. So, yeah, and we've been spitballing this a while too. Like people are gonna move their betting. They have opportunity to bet on things that they wouldn't otherwise. They might just bet more on NFL. They're going to have all these other sports to bet on in the postseason too. So, and just to put a bow on this, this is on the numbers game here. The New Jersey July was bigger than any July that there's been in Nevada. It's obviously with the return of sports, that's maybe not surprising, but it also kind of serves to this pent up demand that's existed for sports betting. And it's even bigger than July of last year in New Jersey, with just growth of the market and with the return of sports. So it'll be really interesting to watch and see how sports books and bettors react to all of this in August and beyond.
And I would piggyback just a little bit on what both of you have said. I grew up in the New York area, and college football is just not a thing on Saturdays. Like, it's not something that people get excited about. College basketball, absolutely, especially in the old days of the Big East. But when you have Syracuse and Rutgers trying to lay claim to the New York market, there's not a lot going on in terms of college football.
Yeah. I at least over there, as Dustin mentioned, now if for whatever reason the SEC decides to not play yeah, like the Mississippi books they're going to feel it. There's no doubt about that. But that's pretty much the only place where I think there's going to be a big difference in what we're taking a look at here. Guys, as a reminder, the full version of this podcast can be found over at legalsportsreport.com, as can the written breakdown of every topic we talk about on the show each and every week. Thanks for watching.